Welcome to the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Discover less and enjoy our holistic resources. Join us weekly on Wednesdays for our live talk show discussing the topics central to maintaining the holistic lifestyle you want. Each week we bring on leaders, product providers, and educators to enlighten and empower your natural journey in wellness. Let us begin. Well. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday here. We're broadcasting live on Interlight Radio, known as the Healing Frequency. This is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Our Facebook page is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Once again, Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show is the title on Facebook. Website is createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. This show is live. If you'd like to call in and you have any questions for the host or our guest today, the call-in number is 310-928-7733. Once again, 310-928-7733. We're each and every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time to bring you great information, good guests, and guess what? Just the real feel of life. That's what we try to do here. We try to give you the truth, find out what people are doing out there that can possibly enhance, save, or embellish your life. I like the word embellish because we don't get enough of that in our life. I tell you. Hey, with that being said, Dr. Rabb, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great for a middle-aged man. And, I got a birthday coming up July the 5th. I'll be 88.
Oh, man. Tell you one thing. That's a good number.
No, not 88. I'll be 80.
Oh, my Lord. Here you go. Pulling us again. You're always doing that Darth Vader stuff on us.
Yeah, but 80 is a milestone itself.
It is,
Boy,
indeed.
I tell you, man, I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Like, oh, yeah, Dr. Rabb.
Funny as ever.
Shucks. This guy's fantastic. That's nice. Dr. Brookh, how you doing? Dr. Brookh, you there? Your mic's muted, I think.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm talking away.
I was going to say, my goodness. Aaron Brockovic, talk to us. Hello.
I'm great. I'm doing great. Life is good. I'm about to head out to Florida for conferences, and because it snowed again here just 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm so ready to get away from any potential of that.
Well, tell us about your conferences. Crack a back? What kind of conference is it? Crack your back and all that good stuff?
No. So I actually opened up a new practice a couple of months in February for weight loss, and so we do masterminds a couple of times a month or a week. Oh my goodness, a year, and just kind of share some of the ideas because like anything. We know this from the program. If we're not following through on the things we know to do, we're not going to get the results that we are hoping for, right? It's
SOS.
like that all of our lives. So yeah, they do a really great job of walking us through. And since I'm still pretty new, I just kind of walk in with my mouth closed and my ears open. Try to learn as much as I can.
I just need something I can swallow like Pac-Man, eat it all up and just distribute it out. That's what I need.
I guess we wish that was it. But you know what I'm convinced of this month? A lot more to that. Yeah, I'm convinced that weight loss is not about the weight loss. We get attracted to it because we want to fit in our clothes or feel better or look better or whatever it is. But about month 1.5, we realized this is actually a psychological journey. And we start getting pressed in ways where we're cheating or doing things that are undermining our success. And then we're trying to blame the program or, feel bad about ourselves. Something starts to rear its head. Yeah. And, it's my job to keep people curious about, so what's going on there? Like, what is this all about?
Well, one thing I've always heard is you have to tell yourself that it's a lifestyle change. Otherwise, your brain is realizing you're trying to starve it, so it starts storing up on you.
Oh, there's no starving. Yeah, no, we don't do it that way.
It's one of those things where, like if I don't tell myself that this is the new way I'm eating and everything, then your brain fights it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, I better start storing up. They're trying to starve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind of scenario, that mental aspect of it. But, when I heard that, it sounded very true to me,
Yeah.
And the thyroid
this is a
plays such a
program where
large
there
part.
should be, this is how I know people aren't following my program. They're hungry or they're grouchy or they don't feel alive. We should be able to eat food and you know, food is our medicine. Dr. Rabb says this all the time, you know, it's true. So people just don't know how to eat. This is what it's doing. It's more training us about proper food groups and what we're eating and how we put that together, because it's not a class we take in school. It's just not.
I'm always convinced if it's on TV, be careful. I don't know.
Don't say that. I'm about to do commercials.
Oh, okay. And I'm telling you, now Weight Watchers came out with this partner plan for like husband and wife. Oh, man, they figured it out now. They got everybody.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Dr. Valerie Franc, obviously, what are you up to?
Oh.
You always got something good cracking.
Oh, of course. And just really loving the conversation because, you know, a lot of my experience with working with people with weight, you know, I always tell them, hey, your weight is just a symptom. It's not the cause. So yes, you're coming in and you're saying, okay, I want to lose weight so I can feel good and so I can be healthy. And you've got the cart before the horse. You've got to be healthy before you can lose weight. So anything that kind of says that, hey, let's actually look at your hormone balance. Let's look at how you're digesting food. Let's look at the gut microbiome. Let's get all of those things into balance. Let's clean out the liver. As we do those things, you're automatically going to shed the weight. You don't have to focus on the calories. But there's so much misinformation out there.
And when we do all these things that we think are going to help us, we don't realize how much we're damaging our bodies.
Well, that's exactly it. And how much we're being lied to by the food industry out there. And, you know, it's just when you look at food, when you start to see what's out there, you just want to cry. You know, I was reading an article the other day and they have shaved wood chips in shredded cheese. Yes.
Which is not the worst thing, I guess.
My goodness.
You know, wood pulp, I don't want to be eating that. And we wonder why we have all these diseases. But, you know, and the quote-unquote blueberries that are in, like, blueberry muffins that people think are healthy. Oh, I'll have a blueberry muffin. It's better than a piece of cake. No, it isn't. And it's not real blueberry. And when you actually look at what it is, did you not know that?
I did. I mean, I don't eat it, so I
never thought about it. Oh my gosh, it comes from, it's like the coloring from the shell of like a beetle. Like it's just so gross when you.
Junk food.
It is. It's just awful when you think of like, what are people putting in things? It's all fake, and you really can't trust health food companies either. You look at
they're the worst.
Foods. Oh, they've got like sugar in everything.
You know, when I was younger, my friend's best friend's father worked for Motown, and he used to say whenever he wanted the female artist to lose weight, all he did was put a bridal magazine on the desk. You know, they go through and they look at these dresses and everything. That's what they aspired to be back then. All ladies want to be married. This is like in the 70s. I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. You know.
I think you could put all the clothing pictures in front of me in the world. That wouldn't be a necessarily motivational factor for me, but the health and the vitality, like I just don't want to live feeling not physically well in my body.
Yeah, and you know it too. You got to listen to your body. I mean, my body tells me so many things now that it didn't before. Maybe I just paid attention, but
it's really interesting because I was in a business meeting this morning and one of the gentlemen there, was just kind of speaking, and he said, I'm really sad today. I had a friend who was, just in his early 50s who just suddenly passed away from a heart attack. And, we were kind of talking, and we talk about how your health is your wealth, but what a lot of people forget too is that stress plays such an important factor. And so you can look at people who on the outside look like they're eating healthy and look like they're fit, and they're actually like that one step away from a heart attack because of their lifestyle. And they don't realize. And they think they're eating healthy quite often, and they're not.
Well, that's the one thing I'm going to do when we're forced to have these robots. That's what they're going to be programmed to do. Keep me where I should be there. Don't eat that, sir. That is not good for you. Have this. Why, thank you.
You'll be changing that programming pretty quickly.
All right. Listen, we're going to get into our show today. We're going to take a commercial break. We're so glad you're here today, and hope you all had a good Easter Sunday. This is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We'll be right back.
My name is Michelle. I am the beauty boss of A More Beautiful You with Jafra Cosmetics. What is so wonderful about Jafra is that it is an essential business and fits into everyday needs for everyone in your family. Jafra offers over 500 products within 4 departments, and they are, department number 1 is our skincare department with our 5 exclusive Royal Jelly skincare lines powered by our Royal Jelly RJX technology. Number 2 is our on-trend gorgeous color and makeup line, a must-see. Number 3 is our fragrance from the world's top perfumers. And department number 4 is our body care for the entire family. Just added is our daily advanced hand sanitizers in 2 sizes. I invite you to visit my website to see more of A More Beautiful You with Jafra. My website is www.amorebeautiful-u.com. That is www.amorebeautiful-u.com. Thank you, and stay safe and well.
Hello, it's Dr. Vic. Finding the right supplement for your health can be very challenging. After years of research, I finally found the one supplement that made a difference. Fountain of Life, a Norwegian spruce extract. It's simply a game changer. Just 10 drops a day can make all of the difference. For more information, visit myopulence.com/Dr. Vic under health. That's myopulence.com/DRVIC. Fountain of Life is not a cure for any disease or ailment, but simply nature's powerful plant antioxidant. Stay well, my friends.
Welcome to the hemp industry, including new product CBD-based discoveries is here. It is a smart, organic personal care option today. Industrial hemp is one of the fastest growing segments of the wellness industry and is quickly emerging as a lucrative business opportunity for many. This emerging industry strives to create products that are designed to revolutionize the way people care for themselves. These products are well formulated to produce the finest quality of dietary supplements on the market, derived from industrial hemp containing proprietary CBD compounds that help support the body's endocannabinoid system. For more information regarding hemp, nano water soluble CBD, CBD pet care, CBD choices for your complete body, and receive your home delivery, visit the Lifestyle Store at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, the Lifestyle Store. It's at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Health is the new wealth.
Welcome back to the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. That's right. Health is the new wealth. We are live, so if you'd like to call in, the number is 310-928-7733. Once again, 310-928-7733. Dr. Val, we're going to go ahead and let you introduce our special guest today, because I think this is going to be a great conversation ahead of us.
Well, thank you so much. And Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. So I would love to...
Hello, Sabrina.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you
Hello there.
for having me.
So Sabrina Fraser is someone that I've known for a number of years now, and I've had the honor and privilege of watching her really grow into her own healing power. And so when I met Sabrina, she was working in public relations for a large corporation. And then through a series of personal events and inspiration, she began to open up to her own healing, and then trained as a Reiki Master, a spiritual life coach, and trained in Past Life Regression Therapy and a number of different modalities, esoteric and mystical modalities over the last 10 years. So she is a spiritual and intuitive healer. And she has really been growing her power and really stepping in and really helping women connect to their own empowerment and their own healing journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's awesome.
That's right.
Yeah, Sabrina, this sounds like a very interesting journey because PR is very important. That can save a lot of people, of course, and, build a lot of people. So to have that background doing what you're doing, tell us how you got into the modality and space in which you enjoy right now. I think it's musing from my heart is something that you say on your site. I like.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, if I can share a little bit, and I love this picture of the sage and everything you have here. This is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. It's a little sneak peek into my mystical world. But when it comes, pardon me.
It looks a little cozy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's very cozy. But yeah, it's been a very wild journey actually. And I want to say that coming into my vocation and coming into my passion was really born from my own healing journey. And that's how I kind of got into this space. And I would say that my healing journey probably started like most people. I was working a corporate job, not feeling totally fulfilled, feeling kind of an immense sense of disconnect and dissatisfaction with my life. At the time, I also suffered from anxiety and I had occasional panic attacks. So my body was speaking to me and telling me that I was not well and something had to change. And like most people do when that happens is I spent a lot of time searching outside of myself for answers. I wanted to feel better, but I didn't know how. And I can only think to look all around me for the answers instead of within. So eventually I fell into kind of a reading frenzy of spiritual and self-development books and became totally hooked. But even with those tools, I still felt stuck, right? I still felt stuck. And I think that feeling of being stuck is something that many people can relate to. I think we all feel stuck at one point or another in our journey, and we don't know what the next step forward is. See, at the time, I didn't know that I had to look within to find those answers. So like I said, I was looking outside of myself, trying to figure out what to do. And it actually wasn't until I visited a medium that things really started to change for me. So like most people going into a psychic reading, you don't know what you're walking into. So during the reading, I did not expect what was about to happen. And what occurred is that this woman was actually able to see in me what I was not yet able to see in myself. And it was totally shocking. It's almost as though she was able to hold up a mirror and show me where I needed to go. So long story short here is during that session, I had a rush of traumatic memories come to the surface while she held space for me and while she guided me with her intuition. It was absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, shocking, but real. And it was the truth that I was tippy-toeing around. And what's more is that after visiting her, my intuition started to come online. I started experiencing clairvoyance and feeling kind of like a deep knowing about things without knowing why. So it was almost like the intuitive floodgates opened as soon as I brought an awareness to the healing that needed to occur in my life. And that's when I realized that the two go hand in hand. So healing and intuition, one makes way for the other. And that's when I first discovered my passion and my purpose, which is to use my intuition to help people uncover that and uncover what's holding them back from their divinity and their magic and their intuition.
Question for you. Is anyone else in your family have this particular style or gift? No, I'm just curious. It sounds like somebody that may have it. I don't know why I'm asking you this. It just came to my heart.
Yeah, well,
your intuition.
I love questions. It's your intuition. That's it. And
don't gang up on me.
Yeah. And you know what? I would say that yes, there are people in my family who have this ability, but who aren't using it. And I would go even further to say that everyone has this ability and that we're the ones standing in our way from accessing that intuition and accessing those psychic gifts. And the way to access that is through healing.
I'm going to share something I'd like you to comment on because You had a real serious challenge here, and I don't know how much you paid attention to this part of it. And well, I'm going to dig out of what I see here and listening to you and everything. Is you went from a PR position, which is a pretty powerful position to be in, okay? And you transitioned into this new world, okay? And most people, they don't do that because they don't know how to survive monetarily to be able to go to that next level. And it's scary. It's scary for some. So at some point, you would have been faced with that. I'm making $100,000 over here. I don't know what's going to happen over here. And you had to do that based on faith. Tell us kind of what you went through on that, because that stops a lot of people that have gifts because they have to survive.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great point.
I mean, if you don't mind sharing.
No, not at all.
That's an interesting part of a person's survival.
Yeah, it's one I can relate to. And what I would say is that you have to do both for a while. Mm-hmm. And you have to create space for both, right? You do have to create space for both, because you can't just you can't jump from one thing to the next without building confidence, right? And that's what I did over the last 5 years is I've spent my time building confidence so that I can get to a point where I know that I can sustain this, right? That where I do have that faith and I do have that trust. So that's the biggest lesson is you need to do both for a while. You need to create space for both.
And I think there's something as well for you, just knowing more about your personal journey. There's something about having grit. And I was listening to some people talk, and there were some studies that were done on people who are very intuitive. And they found that what they tended to have in common, people who had really hyper-developed senses of intuition, was that they all had a lot of trauma that they had to get over. They had trauma in their early childhood and in their earlier years that they had to overcome. So there's something about having that pain, having that trauma that allows us to take that journey of healing and say, no, my intuition, learning to trust myself, learning to connect to God, that world is actually more powerful, more important, and more real than what society around me is telling me is important.
And
definitely.
Sabrina, I got a lot of funny questions.
Keep them coming. Go ahead, coming.
You'll find me a very different kind of character. I always, sometimes I ask people why they use a certain title. You know what I mean? Some people call themselves a coach or life coach, this, that, and the other. And one lady got mad one time. What do you call yourself? Like, oh my God. I guess I would call myself a term. It's I don't even know what I said to the lady. I forgot at the time because I normally don't have a title for myself. But I always wonder, I think you are a spiritual intuitive, right? And healer. So you had that particular title, or is that what you use?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So I would say when I refer to myself as, Reiki Master, spiritual coach, certified in Past Life Regression, like those are designations. And
that's good. I didn't think about that.
Those are designations. Those are kind of tools in my toolbox, but they don't necessarily define me. When I tell people what I do, I usually say I'm an intuitive healer because it describes what I do. Is I use my intuition to help my clients heal. So that's how I see a title. I think the other things are just kind of designations. They're tools, but the way we describe our vocation and our passion and how we show up, I think is really linked to how we help the people that we serve.
Yeah, it seems like you're detailed enough because of your work and background. And I'm going to tie all this in. Of course, it's like, you have a certain point that you picked, you know what I mean? Now you go get the tools that are associated with that. So I've chosen this. Now I have to bring in the Reiki part. I have to have that, get the credential. Then I have to go through this, get that credential. So that you're solid in that particular space. Would that be a safe assumption?
Yeah, and I would actually go as far as saying that when I first started getting intuitive hits and noticing that I had a psychic ability, there wasn't any confidence, right? So in order to build that confidence, getting designations actually helped me feel more confident, because it gives you a framework, right? It gives you a framework, and it gets you kind of familiar with what you're interested in, right? So I've done a lot of different courses, and I use Reiki primarily in my healing sessions because it's the tool that feels the most resonant. So those designations, it's kind of like you're taste testing and then trying to figure out, you know, what's my passion? What do I like? How can I channel my gifts in a way that makes sense for me? Because intuition looks different for everyone, right? You can be a psychic, you can be a medium, you can be an energy healer, you can be a shaman. There are just so many ways. Like and it's not limited to spirit, right? Like there's mind, body, spirit, emotions. There's so many aspects where the intuition comes online. So,
can you share with the listeners what Reiki is and what a Reiki Master is, please?
Absolutely. So Reiki is an energy healing modality that originates from Japan, and it's rooted in the idea that everything in life, everything in the universe, all sentient beings are made up of energy, made up of a vital force energy that kind of connects all of us. So the practice of Reiki is using that life force energy in order to support people with their healing in their bodies. So when we think of the body, we've got kind of a chakra system, which I think many people have heard of, at least, if not in detail, at least generally. The chakra system in our body kind of works as like an energy map. And
there's 7 chakras or 8 chakras? I can't remember.
There are 7 basic chakras that everyone might know, but there are far more in the body. So Reiki works with these energy centers in the body in order to bring balance, in order to bring peace, in order to bring a sense of wholeness. And I would say Reiki is only a part of what I do, because when I do energy healing for a person, I actually pick up more information from the body. So it's not only about working with the energy, it's actually, for me, I'm picking up information that is stored in the body.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well. So there's two parts to what I do. Yeah.
That is interesting. Dr. Rabb, any questions?
No, I'm listening too strong to be asking questions right now.
All right. Dr. Brookh. Okay. Dr. Brookh she's muted. Oh, there
she keeps on talking and forgetting she's on mute. That's my thing today. No, your explanation was beautiful. Thank you. And it's so hard for sometimes people who are not, everybody has a lot of difficulty explaining in just like words, not in words that people understand. And I completely understood what you said there. I actually do some craniosacral work myself, but I had some craniosacral work done yesterday on myself. And it's so funny, what you said about bringing yourself to the table. You said it in different words, but it's true. She did a completely, you wouldn't even have known it was the same thing, honestly. She did it so differently than I do it. But I thought that's such a beautiful thing, because I didn't even ask her, because it doesn't matter. Like, there's no judgment in that, but I just trust that she did what my body was asking for. And so maybe that's how that came through. But yeah, and back to what you were talking about, getting the accreditations and stuff. Isn't it great to be like going from one world, and then all of a sudden you walk into the world and you're like, oh my gosh, there's more like me. I'm not alone.
That's exactly it. Getting designations, taking courses, workshops, connecting with people with similar interests, it just continues to light you up from the inside,
I found my
right?
People.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
They're
right.
here.
And
I'm not alone.
As I was saying, it builds that confidence, and it builds that sense of connection. And from there, that's when you can start making leaps into your passion. That's when you start making big moves.
Let's see, Dr. Franc, when I hear this, I think of one song. Turn on your heart light. Let it shine wherever you go.
Absolutely. I think that's the key to success, for sure. I was actually talking to one of my patients yesterday, and you know, she's connected to a fantastic community, and she was telling me she's going to be going to visit some of these people, and she was like, yeah, I just want to be around people who do impossible things every day. And so you realize that there are people out there that when they do connect to that passion and that heart light, yeah, you can do what seems like the impossible because you're just coming from that space of love, connection, and joy. And that's how everybody should be living life.
I know that.
Well, and I think unless we're raised in a family who has these kind of abilities or interests, like most people don't even know this stuff exists. It sounds crazy to them, whereas it's just our normal living.
I don't know about that. And that's where I think the conversation that I was, you know, kind of talking about before about having trauma in your life and having grit. I think that when you don't necessarily have to have a family around you who knows about these things, although it's very helpful to have that community and to develop that. But when you go through something that, you know, is a life-changing event that brings you to your knees, it really makes you, as you were saying earlier, Sabrina, you know, when you had that experience with that intuitive that psychic who was helping you who, you know, you were having these traumatic memories. And so you recognize like, hey, there's like this whole, my world has just been rocked and everything that I thought was how the world was is now not. You know, I think that moving through that process can break your heart open.
Yeah, and I want to spend a moment on that. Yes, it's so true what you're saying, Dr. Val, is that when you have, you know, a big moment like that or this desire to feel better, introspection is the way towards feeling better. So for me, like if I couldn't see my own trauma, I started to think, okay, what else can I not see within myself? And I became fiercely committed to that introspection. And I think a lot of people in the spiritual community talk about something called shadow work. Do any of you know what that is? Yeah, yes. We hear about shadow work, but what does that actually mean? You know, and for me, if I were to explain it, it means bringing light or awareness to the parts of us that we cannot see. And that's why we say that they're in the shadow, right? And the more we do that shadow work, the more curiosity and self-discovery we bring into our lives, we start bringing those parts of us forward. We honor them, we heal them, and then in doing so, we actually experience this deep level of peace and wholeness as a result. And to your point, Dr. Val, we can do the impossible because now we trust ourselves. Now we've landed in our hearts and we've landed within. So I love that.
Deborah Ford's book, Dark Side of the Light Chasers, is one of my favorite books. And that's a lot about that shadow work. But, you know, I really want to give you credit because I know I don't want you to go into anything that you don't want to talk about, but I know some of the trauma that you've been through. And I know that there are a lot of people who have gone through what you've been through and who get so stuck in the pain they don't see a way out. And they don't realize they're so stuck in darkness sometimes that they don't realize that, hey, if you actually meet that darkness, if you walk into it, if you embrace it, and then again do what is called shadow work, but really just stand in the suck, stand in the pain, that you eventually you'll move through it. You'll come out the other side, and eventually you can come to this space that you're talking about where you're like, I would never wish that pain on my worst enemy. But in this moment and at this time, it has been my greatest gift and as a teacher, because I wouldn't be who I am right now if it wasn't for that. And you can come to love and forgiveness and compassion, and you can use it as your gift to turn around and help healing others. And I think I have so much love and respect for you for that, for being able to take that pain and transmute it. I use it as fertilizer to grow like this garden of your heart.
Nice choice of words.
I love it.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And for those people who feel stuck and who are kind of paralyzed by the pain, what I would say is that you don't have to do it alone. I think there's this misconception sometimes, and a fear that, you know, when you have trauma, you've held it alone for so long, and it can be scary to ask for help. But that's the beauty of working with holistic practitioners, with therapists, with healers, with psychics, with mediums. Like, I really believe that there's so much good that can come from this work, this psychic work, this intuition, this spiritual world. So to those people, you don't have to do it alone. And if we did have to do it alone, we would probably incarnate on a planet by ourselves rather than on Earth with a bunch of people around us.
Well, and the world that starts to open up too is to know that, you were never alone to begin with. Yeah, you just didn't realize how surrounded by love and you were, and where God is. And it really is about, you know, meeting God in the moment, meeting God in the pain, turning back to God and saying, okay, I surrender. I can't do anything about this. And
Michael Jackson did a beautiful song about that.
Are you going to sing it?
You're not alone. I am here with you. I tell you that, Michael, I tell you, he was something else.
Well, and there's also a beautiful song out there about the children being the future. And I'd love for you to talk about your experience as a new mom and how having your son opened up this connection too.
Oh, my goodness. I think that children are our greatest teachers. Absolutely.
No doubt.
So thank you for that question. I think every parent agrees. It's almost like, my son Odin came into the world, and he too was holding up a mirror to all of the things within myself that I was still ignoring, because they just react to you, right? It's not personal. They're new here. So my experience becoming a mom was so humbling and challenging and raw. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, parenthood is not easy. It's not easy.
What, they don't come with a manual?
They don't.
The whole system's not. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but there's a conscious way to go about it, and it's to look within. Okay, this is difficult. I'm having a hard time here. Why? And, you know, sometimes we want to blame our child. You know, I've got a difficult child, but all those answers can be found within. You know, I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I felt as though I couldn't make decisions, and, you know, I had a kind of like a lack of control in my life. And so I spent a lot of my time as an adult grasping for control and trying to correct my childhood. And, you know, I thought I can make decisions now, and I'm totally in the driver's seat. But with a kid, you're not in the driver's seat. And so I had to learn to surrender.
You're in the learning curve.
Right. And I had to look within and figure out, okay, why am I trying so hard to control this? And, you know, it was found in childhood and my past experiences, and bringing just love and compassion to that helped me to surrender and made parenting a lot easier. But it's a learning curve. Every day brings something new, and I'll say it again. Children are absolutely
it'll definitely be
our
exciting.
biggest teachers.
It'll be very exciting for you. Okay. If you're just tuning in, this is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We'll be right back. We're having a great conversation with Sabrina. She's enlightening us on many things. And I've got more questions. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Detox Jenny here. Is your digestion poor, painful, or just plain stuck? If so, please consider doing a short 3 to 10 day juice cleanse with my company, Earthly Juices. You can visit us at bringmejuice.com. You will be surprised what a difference a short cleanse can make within your body and your overall well-being. Our organic farm-to-table juice cleanses are handcrafted to exclude your allergies and geared towards solving your health issues. Call 310-404-6804 and mention this show and receive a free quart of juice with your first order. You can also find us at www.bringmejuice.com. Or you could write us your detox questions at earthlyjuices@gmail.com. We can't wait to bring that juice to your doorstep.
I tell myself again and again, I'm happy about my favorite juice from Jen. I tell myself this up again and again. Well, earthly juices, they make the best juice cleanse.
Hi, this is Dr. Nathan Rabb Jr., host of The Natural Way, which you can hear live on InnerLightRadio.com every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On The Natural Way, you will learn about alternative strategies to common medical practices to overcome some of the most common physical and mental maladies in the world today. The program is a live call-in show, so you can engage me by calling 310-928-7733 with your health-related questions. For private consultations, please call my office. That's at 310-419-4372. You can also reach me on the web at Dr. Dr. Nathan, Nathan, Rabb, Rabb.com. Be sure to tune in to The Natural Way every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, live on InnerLightRadio.com. The Healing Frequency. I'm Dr. Nathan Rabb. We see you on the air. Peace.
Historically, our ancestors lived 100% organic and natural, simply grazing off the green earth with fresh fruits and vegetables and blue oceans filled with seafood. Allowing your mind, body, and soul to be naturally healthy is how we were meant to live during this journey of our lives. We invite you to visit The Lifestyle Store. Once again, The Lifestyle Store, for all of your family's health and wellness needs. Simply click on The Lifestyle Store at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Keep this in mind. Health is the new wealth.
All right. Sound that alarm. Someone's getting woken up today. So I'd like to live life. Ding, ding, ding. Are you paying attention? Okay. Sabrina, a couple things here. First, how does someone work with you and how does that happen? Secondly, I'd like you to address the relationship part of things. Should couples and married people come see you together, apart, and how does that work in your world?
Sure, yeah. So I primarily see people in person or virtually. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned earlier, I do a combination of energy healing and intuitive readings to help people who are stuck on their healing journey. Kind of like that medium, her name was Tammy, kind of like Tammy did for me. I was stuck, and she used her gifts and her intuition to help me uncover the next step and to help me see what was blocking me from feeling that sense of fulfillment and peace within my body.
So intuitive reading is a little different than someone channeling or something like that. Am I correct?
Yeah, for sure. So the way it shows up for me in intuitive readings, I either will feel a sensation in my body or I might see something in my mind's eye, which is called clairvoyance.
And you don't have to be in person for that, right? Just could be on Zoom or whatever. It doesn't have to be
could be on Zoom.
She could be picking up information right now on you, Johnathan.
Sure. Doc, there you go. Spoiler alert.
Tell us the secrets, quick.
Yeah. It's
too, Dr. Bell, I want a full report.
It's like an antenna, though. Sometimes you can turn it on, turn it off, and it depends what you're doing. But for me, the way it shows up the most is I just know something, and I don't know why I know it, but I know it. And so it's taken some time for me to really trust that and just share it with the client without that fear of being wrong. And then when you asked what kind of people do I see typically, up until this point in my practice, it's usually women that come to see me, and I often think it's because the people who are attracted to you, at least initially, are people who have gone through something similar as you, and so you can help them through your experiences. So primarily women, a few men here and there, but never a married couple. I've never seen a couple together. And I'm actually seeing my first child doing Reiki for the child, obviously with parental supervision. But that's new, and I'm thrilled at the idea of helping children. But that's kind of how it looks for me and how it shows up in my sessions.
Yeah, it seems like you know, having what you do be part of and partnering with a relationship coach would be ideal, because they can kind of understand, you know, kind of where they are and where they would like to go. And then how to get there would be important if they're, you know, uneven yoked and these different things I've heard and, you know, sayings and things in the past. That's one reason I ask right now, because I think life is so short. You can't sit around and kind of wait. You have to at least put the information out there to figure out how far or how close you are so far as your lifestyle, living or beliefs, you know. And I think COVID taught us a lot of that, you know. Because, I mean, a lot of people look at each other like, all of a sudden I hate the way you chew, and my God, you look terrible. You know what I mean? All these different things, you know, started coming out, because I mean, here in the U.S., I don't think anyone's sober anymore. Everybody's on something, coffee, energy drinks. I mean, everybody's on something. And I just don't know how much people like themselves anymore. So that's why what you're doing is very important. If they can get some confidence there, or you know, some belief, or, you know, some historical fact that's brought out of why you're the way you are, I think that can lead them on the right path.
Yeah, there's always a deeper story. You know, if there's an ailment or an addiction or persistent, you know, harsh feelings, there's always something you can find deeper. And I would say, obviously, COVID, it hit the world by storm. We're still kind of getting out of it. And what I noticed was
the pandemic.
It's I mean, it's you know, going on a little too long is all I'm going to say. Just going on a little bit too long, and I'm hoping for, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel here. But what I noticed with clients and many friends and family is that during COVID, being, you know, at home, you know, kind of alone with your demons, all of a sudden you're starting to see yourself in a new way, because you don't have all of those distractions keeping you away from the truth anymore. So you're pretty much sitting at home with yourself, sitting at home with your relationships, and new information comes to light. So a lot of people have been making big changes during this time. Big changes.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of interesting, because you can really block yourself from a lot of good by just not wanting to listen, you know? And, you know,
absolutely.
I tell people all the time, how do you grow? You grow by listening. And people call me up and they got something to share. I always say, yes, give it to me. You know, I don't care what it is, business deal. Because how do you ever learn anything if you don't take new information and new perspective? I mean, so that's very important, you know. Dr. Rabb, any questions at this point? Anything you'd like to share?
Well, something that when she just mentioned about this whole COVID thing, you know, it's been, what is this, been going on a year and a half or something, somewhere in there?
Yeah, 2 to me.
But, you know, I have been right here in my facility most of that time. I mean, it was a couple of times, and my friend would drive me down to a restaurant here or something, you know, like that. So it wasn't 100% that I didn't get out of this big building I'm in. But the thing is, it never bothered me when my clients came in. Some of them had masks on their face, and I never had one on any time, the whole time of this, because I didn't have any fear of this so-called boogeyman. And, you know, I knew how to take care of my own body. And there were a number of people, though, they would come in and they'd say, well, you don't have on your mask. I said, thanks for telling me that. I said, but I already knew I didn't have it on. Because I don't wear that. I said, I'm not falling for everything you guys are. And, you know, even now it's the same thing going on. I know, I have sisters and brothers who are on the other side. I don't bother them, because if they're not willing to listen to, you know, what's going on, then, you know, there's nothing I can do about that. So I love them. They love me. but they still are talking about, this whole thing with the mask. They said, well, they're saying, we need this, we can trim it down or shut it down or whatever. And one of my sisters came back and said, well, I think you better keep it on. I said, Lord have mercy. So, different strokes for different folks.
That's it. That's it. All right. Dr. Brookh, your closing thoughts at this point.
I'm just sitting here in complete gratitude. I mean, I think we're all blessed to have been touched by our conversation, because I'll go back to what I said before. Not everybody knows that these things exist. And when we're open to it, when we're ready, or when it's our time, it shows up. But hopefully everyone listening today might have been already, tapped on the shoulder, and now you're going to just kind of investigate something new that you've never tried before. That could really have such a huge impact. And, just follow your heart. If you think you're supposed to go try something or go read something or stop doing something, just give that a try for a minute and just see what happens to you, because I bet you there's some information that nobody else could read. It's just yours. So thanks for today, guys.
All right. Sabrina, please give out your contact information and repeat everything twice, and then your closing thoughts, the last things you'd like to share.
For sure. So for anyone who'd like to get in touch with me, I can be reached through my website at www.Sabrina, Sabrina, Fraser, Fraser.com. So that's www.sabrinafraser.com. You can also find me on Instagram at by Sabrina Fraser. That's BY Sabrina Fraser. And if you reach out, you want to chat, you want to learn more, I'd love to talk to you. I always like meeting new people, especially those who are just starting to dabble in this world, because it's so exciting. But just a heartfelt thank you to all of you for having me on the show today, and for really holding space for this important conversation. As I said before, I fundamentally believe that healing is multifaceted. It's mind, it's body, it's emotions, it's spirit. And I totally believe in the power of psychic, spirituality, and intuition for the purpose of healing and for helping humans heal. It's a dimension of healing that I had never considered until I had that shocking experience with that medium many years ago. But like I said, there's so much good that can come from this work. And if you're curious, as mentioned, just follow your heart and go where the curiosity leads you, and see what happens. Just take that next step, and the next step will reveal itself soon enough. Mm-hmm. But thank you to all of you. I appreciate this.
Yes, and Dr. Franc, your closing thoughts.
Well, I just want to say thank you to Sabrina for being here. I have had the honor and privilege of knowing you and watching you grow through your journey, and I just love you sharing your heart with us.
Thank you.
That's it, Dr. Franc?
We'll get together for coffee later. We'll chat.
Say, what else should I say?
Hey, Dr. Franc, like she's on stage, just drop the mic on me. Okay, so Sabrina, I want to thank you for being on the show. I think that what you share is very important, especially when it comes to energy healing and intuitiveness, because there's a reason why you're thinking what you're thinking, and you move in the directions that you move in. Something is out there making that happen. I hate to put titles on things, because then it limits a person's view or interpret what I have to say, and I've had enough of that shit in my life. So, I'm very careful about what I'm saying when I'm saying it. I think that working with children is going to be something that's going to be big for you, because you're very knowledgeable, you're a very calming person, and you like to wear a lot of light colors, a lot of white and everything, and that shows holiness. No, I think that's important. And sometimes when you look at photos and look at people, I mean, you can see these things, and there's a certain level of comfort where people will be open to talk to you, where there won't be, much resistance at all. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you have the gift to be able to deal with someone either in person, via Zoom, and things of that nature, because people can't always get to you. So if you give them alternative, then it brings them further along to their goal or finding out, look, how can I help myself? So I'd like to see you build all of those things and come back on the show and share with us more as you evolve in this particular space, because it is a space that some people like they're in, but I don't think they have it as thought out and as planned as you have. Your answers today were spot on, especially when, we talked about putting something together and those are roads traveled and so forth, because some people don't see it that way. I'm glad you did, because it leaves everything open. You know what I mean? And
thank you. Yeah.
That's very important. And I like the fact that you empower people. I've been empowered by you today. And I just want to thank you for being on the show, and Dr. Val for always bringing some really nice people to come on and share what they're doing, because that's what the show is all about. Who's out there? How are you helping people? What's important to you? That's what we try to give you here each and every week on the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle show. So, Sabrina, you're an awesome lady. And if you ever get out here to Los Angeles or something, we'd love to meet you.
It'd be an honor.
You take that trip to Hollywood, someone's going to want to scoop you up and get you out here.
Well, it's ridiculous. I've never been to California.
What?
I know. It's shocking.
You guys need that girl trip out here.
You got to change that. Yeah.
I know.
Most definitely. Well, we've got some stuff to talk to you about. Dr. Val and I'll give you a call. I've got some ideas for you ladies and so forth. But it's truly a pleasure having you on today. And I want each and every out there to share something enlightening with someone there and realize, don't be afraid of what your body's telling you to do. Don't be afraid to try new things, because... Well,
Johnathan, you might want to be afraid.
well, Dr. Val,
there has to be some boundaries.
Well, sky's the limit, folks. The sky's the limit.
That Dr. Val, that's what I said. She was so short today. I'm like, she did the mic drop on me. I'm like, oh, what's up? Well, we're here each and every week for you, just having some fun. We really enjoy what we do, and I want to thank you, Dr. Brookh, and Dr. Rabb, and Dr. Franc. It's always a pleasure to meet with you guys every week and come here and share some love out here in the community. I want you to have a great week out there. We'll see you next time. This was the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We'll see you next week, 11 a.m. on Airlight Radio. Take care.
Peace and love.
Thank you for joining us on the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We are a globally hosted show dedicated to sharing holistic lifestyle events, practitioners, products and services, and useful information. Visit our website, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Of course, our Facebook page is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We will see you next week.
Namaste.